Yes, sir. Give me the go ahead.
All right.
West Ascension Consolidated Gravity Drainage District Board Meeting, March 3rd, 2022, 5:15 p.m. Call to order. Have invocation and pledge of allegiance by Councilman Robert.
Thank you, Lord, for another beautiful day for us to all enjoy. Thank you for a little warmer weather. Help us tonight to get the business of the parish done, business of the West Ascension drainage handled in a manner that expedites and makes most use of all the resources we have. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Again, I would like to thank everyone for coming tonight. We have a roll call. Mr. Robert's here, and myself, Councilman Thomas. Here. Public comment period. We have Mr. William Hayward. I'll call you up in a minute. We acceptance of February 3rd, 2022.
Make a motion.
Second that motion. Any questions? Any objection? No objection. The minutes of February 3rd, 2022 pass. Motion passed. We have the chairman's report announcements. I have a few things that I'd like to go over. Again, I want to thank everybody for coming and apologize for our tardiness. Had a lot of traffic on the bridge, and those things happen. At this time, I'd like to, the debris in the canal, I would think that would be the report. Ms. Regina? The debris in the canals? Is that the slides you? Okay, all right. The next thing I have is the worker. You talked about a worker for the parish for the spray machine. Did we ever get that?
Yes.
You got it? Okay. Also, I'd like to recognize the work orders process on our work orders. How is it that we're doing with that?
Pretty good.
Our work orders.
We're in the process of training and moving over to another system. But so far, so good with the system we have.
The work orders, the last one I had was on Cotton Drive, 3519. He had been right at about 9 months on waiting to get that right away from Koki to get that ditch dug behind his house.
Okay, Cotton Drive is something that we are trying to figure out right now. Because the line where the servitude is.
You mind coming to the mic?
Okay. The line where we have the servitude at is full of trees, and not all the residents want the trees out of the way. I had got with President Quitmo, and we're gonna get someone to come out and do a study, a drainage study, to see about putting a culvert under the, at the end of the road, to reroute some of that water that's going into the resident's yard, because going down Cotton Drive on the left-hand side, it floods faster. So we're looking into doing a study to see and getting an engineer on it to see about rerouting some of the water. If it's
the reason
doable.
I mentioned that one again, the reason I mentioned that particular work order, it's been on the books for about 8 to 9 months. So I'm not. That's why I asked you how was the work orders going in the process.
Well, it's going good, but it's just that's something. It's I think we might have about 3 or 4 of them on Cotton Drive that we're trying to come up with a solution to help all of them.
I got a question about that.
Okay, Mr. Robert.
You're saying on Cotton Drive, the issue there is some of the residents don't want the trees removed. These trees that we're speaking of are in parish servitude?
Yes, so what it is the whole line hasn't been dug in years.
What kind of trees are we talking about? Are these like cypress trees or live oaks?
They got a few live oaks, some cypress trees. It's a bunch of trees. So I met with some of the residents, and I offered to go in with a smaller machine and clean out, put a fall on the ditch going out to the canal going to Bayou Napoleon, and they were okay with that. So I did a work order and I dyed it, and we are gonna go in and clean out the canal all the way to the Bayou Napoleon.
So cleaning out the canal without the removal of those trees in the right of way, you think will solve the problem?
Possibly.
Because the reason I keep saying this is there's a servitude in the right of way for a reason. And if
Right.
we're talking about it just hasn't been cleaned in 5 to 10 years, there's not a tree that could grow in 5 to 10 years.
No, it's way longer than that.
And way longer than that.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I'd like to see which trees we're speaking of, or have some type of, because I mean, there are some trees where they could have some type of case with them, some live oaks,
Right.
or this or that.
Right.
And not that we would have to even follow that, because it's servitude.
Right.
But let's just see what we're talking about here.
Right. So the residents, the ones that have the work orders are some of the ones that I met with about the drainage issue. And to until we finish the study, and, this is not gonna happen like overnight, but until we finish the study, that's something that we can do to relieve them of some of the water.
Yeah, and just on that note, in addition to just Cotton Drive, we want to make sure people understand, don't plant trees, don't let trees grow, don't build fences, don't build decks, don't put buildings in the servitude or the right of way.
Correct.
Because at any point in time, the parish can go through and knock it down, because
Correct.
it's there for a reason.
Right.
They should be aware of that, inform that anyway. My next question I have, our machines, how are they holding up?
Good. We have one machine down. We're waiting on the clamp. They sent the part that we needed, but they forgot to send the clamps. And we can't get it nowhere around here, so we got one down.
So most parts are still on delay and
Yeah.
taking as long as.
Right.
Okay. The grass cutting, we doing any of that?
We cutting grass. We cutting grass on Highway 1. And then when we finish that, we're going to the loop.
I would, from starting to today, I'd like to meet with you every 2 weeks to go over some of this stuff that's going on with the drainage.
Okay.
I would need a motion.
If you make a motion, I'll make a second. What you want to do?
I wanted to meet with her every 2 weeks.
So you're making a resolution to meet with her?
I'm wanting to make a motion to meet with her every 2 weeks
Okay.
prior to the next meeting.
I'll second that motion.
Any objections? No objections? Motion passed. Okay, Mr. Haywood, you can come to the mic. Thank you, Ms. Regina. William Haywood,
William Haywood, William C. Haywood III.
9073 Highway 405, Downsonville, Louisiana.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Well, I was up here before. I'm going to tell you like Tommy Martinez told me one time. How many times you got to tell your story? I was up here last time and it was on TV or whatever, and I had my problems with the drainage. And Mr. Thomas said he was going to take care of all that. And I went to check on the job, and it's this job here. Here's the right-of-way permit right here. This is in September 2019, and it's just a job that hadn't been finished. It's just a mess.
That one I wasn't here. I came in 2020.
We're talking about right now, brother.
Okay.
We're talking about right now. Okay,
Councilman-
I'm just telling you.
You mind if I see that?
Yeah, I got another copy.
Councilman Thomas. Mr. Haywood.
Do what now?
Councilman Thomas.
Oh, okay. Well, Mr. Hayward to me too, and Mr. Thomas, Mr. Coach,
I
or however
appreciate
they call you. I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
I don't really know you, to tell you the truth. I heard a lot about you,
It doesn't
a
matter.
lot about you, but I don't really know you.
Just respect of.
Okay, and let's see what I got here. The drainage ditch that I'm talking about is on a project it was the Bijou drainage district. Are you familiar with that?
No, sir.
It was established in 1914, and it was ditches off of my grandfather was the police bureau. He was president of the police bureau. I didn't even know that, but Grandpa Royce was. And he wanted to make the land in that area productive. So you had to put drainage in. And they had it's a series of canals. If you go down River Road, you're going to see them. They're going to be these main canals coming off the river. And I try to do as much research as I can. I think a lot of the records got burned up in a fire out here. But I'd like to have the minutes of the meeting that they had in 1914. When they, do they ever abandon projects like that? Do they ever say, well,
Oh, yeah, they'll abandon projects.
huh?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they do. So has this project
Well,
ever been
I
abandoned?
wouldn't even say necessarily abandoned, but for example, on the other side of the river and the drainage, we have a drainage plan from 1984. And I mean, we have accomplished about this much of it out of a big old plan. So it
Well,
may never be done.
when this thing was established, it probably was the parish that done all the work for these ditches. But now we have our farmers out there. Thank God for the farmers. They take care of all these ditches now. But there's a few of them, like the one that I'm involved with, that y'all started on. And I just wondered what's the deal on it. I went and checked on them, and I'm not on the system. I'm on the board. I don't know what that means.
Did,
Yeah, well, you were supposed to put me in the system last time,
did you call in?
Mr. Huh?
You called in and put it in?
You were supposed to do all that for me. It's on TV too. It's got a record of that. Yeah, and then you asked him. You said you're gonna take care of that. You
Okay.
said yes, sir.
All right, let me suggest something that, I'm gonna suggest that you get with my DPW director.
I already got with the meetings. I made meetings after meetings, and I'm not going to no more meetings. This is my last meeting I'm gonna have over here. I ain't got no business coming over here. Gas prices are too high, and I just ain't gonna go to no more meetings anymore. David's come to my house a dozen and one times and promised me and promised me and promised me. You know, and it's just idle promise. It just didn't happen. And I'm just saying is that y'all know the project, and she knows
Regina.
all about it.
Regina, do you,
Yeah, she knows all about it.
David and I went out, this was something that was done before I got here. The parish went out and did some work on his property, and
Okay, go ahead.
they said that he told him to leave the trees. And
No.
Let her finish talking. We'll give you a
I'm
chance.
not sure about that part, but I went out met with David, and we went out to go see what needed to be done. So he wanted the trees removed. We've had our truck was down. We just got our truck back up. I put in a work order to get it done. David was trying to set up a meeting with me, him, and Phil Savoy so that we can go over the servitude paper that was signed, so we can let him know exactly what the paper states that we can do and what's not on the paperwork to be done.
okay, so when are we gonna be able to do what we can do, I guess?
I can't give you an ETA on it right now
Okay.
because we shut everything down to do the debris cleanup right now for the waterways.
I guess the best way for me to address this to you is, I mean, everything in government, a lot of times takes time. I mean, as long as you keep with her and she's putting this work order in,
What I'm saying is that I went to your office. You wasn't there.
yeah, and she's saying all that too. And she's saying that the truck's down, they're looking to get it done, but you, just like anything
Yeah, but
else.
where am I? What I'm saying is that if I'm not in this, I don't understand.
Why do you say you're not in the system?
What is the term? What does it mean that I'm on a board?
A work order means that they have a number for this particular project in the system. So
In the system is
system is
not in the system.
everything that that the West Ascension does or East Ascension does.
Uh-huh.
We have to do it. We can't do it without it being in that system. We take each project.
I understand it. am I not in the system?
You are.
in the system.
You are in the system.
You're
That's
in
what
the
she
system.
said.
Okay.
You're in the system,
But they-
and I have a,
Okay, all right. So,
you're in the system.
okay.
I have a dotty done for your property.
Yeah, but just done the other day, I said, well, man, this is good. They come out and done the dotty. I got pictures out of, anyway, the dotty came out there and I asked them who called them this time. Because the last time they done it, now this was when Kenny was in there, when they started this job. And I was the one that called Dottie because the parish workers didn't know there was a pipeline. I said, man, look, don't go no further. They got a pipeline right there. Oh, there ain't no pipeline right
Well, they're not going to call Dottie till right before you're doing the work, right?
there. Right.
Okay. And
And then
we
they
called Dottie? So,
I've done a dotty.
This should,
yeah, so we should be somewhere.
I've done a dotty on it. I've spoke to the pipeline guy. The work order is in the system. I gave you my word when you came to the
Yeah,
office
yes,
and talked to
ma'am,
me
you did.
that I was gonna get it done, and that was my word to you.
you understand?
But if something else right now, your property is not really restricted from any flow of water, any block.
No, not really.
So,
no.
when you and I spoke on it, I told you, I said, we're gonna get together, we're gonna write up everything that need to be done, we're gonna sign off on it and get it notarized,
Well, we did that. We didn't get it notarized, but I mean, we.
because we have been trying to set up a meeting with you and we hadn't gotten a chance to.
Yeah, well, me and you and the little guy was sitting in a meeting not long ago at your office, and you wrote down a bunch of stuff, what I wanted done. I said, this, everybody, just knock out, clean the ditch. That's all I want, is just to clean.
I guess
Looking
what
at
we're saying here is, I understand you're frustrated,
I'm not,
but what I'm saying here is, I would limit your frustration as much as possible because we are doing everything, and the process is going to have everything done to have what you're asking done.
It's not gonna
And
happen
for the
overnight.
dotty to be
I
done
know,
for this,
not
and what
overnight,
she's
but
saying
this is
about,
a-
what
this
she's
is
saying
2.5
about,
years.
what she's saying about the restrictions of the water and the different things like that, you've got work orders, and you've got priorities on these work orders. So, I mean, you have these storms, you have things that come through, you have to do that in certain orders. But at this point, we're gonna handle it. We're gonna get it done. Stay with David, stay with her. I mean, things in government take forever. It's very frustrating. But
could you,
fighting back and forth with us or them is not gonna make the process easier.
I'm not, you see, David wanted me to have another meeting with this lady right here.
Well, we need to have it notarized for
know,
the right
but
of
I'll
way.
tell you
That's the
that-
point. There's,
Notarized.
it's a process.
So, look, the reason for the notarization is this, because they did work on the property, and to their knowledge, you were satisfied and the work was complete.
Oh, Lord, no, that
So-
ain't, no, that ain't, I don't know who told you that, but that is way from the truth. No. That ain't, somebody didn't, you didn't get the right information, I'm sorry. But I never said the work was complete. And then Data came out there and done this job. I talked to Spike Knoll the other day. I said, how long would it take you to do this job? He told me, he said, I could probably do the whole thing in a week, but 2 weeks for sure. I said, with the first group that came out there, then they left for lunch, and then they came back. Terrible work ethics that the parish lets go. I never had that. I brought my own lunch to work. I'm just saying is that this is what was going on, and I hope they've corrected that, because they waited like 3 days for an oil filter. I said, I'll run down there and get you one, or we don't do business that way. I said, God.
Mr.
They just sat
Hayward,
there. So I'm just saying that I'm frustrated, and I understand why it takes so much time if they do the same service that they do me. Like I said, sometimes you see the equipment just sitting there. Now, I don't know. That's been in the past. I hadn't been really watching it, But it's not up to me to watch it anyway. The only thing I'm concerned about is this ditch right now. And if y'all would take care of it, I'd appreciate it, and take care of it as fast as you can. And but as far as any trees, if a tree's in the way, if I park my truck in the way, knock that down too. I even told them, I said, y'all knock these trees down, I'll pull them off. I'll pull them off.
Regina, we good on that? Any trees, anything in this project, we can go ahead and get them done? When we get to it, when we get there to do it, so we don't have any questioning in the future.
No.
And like I
The
said,
only thing, my only for to have it notarized, so that once we are complete with
that's
the work.
fine. So whatever
it's
we're talking
done.
about here.
Well, I want you to just, what I'm saying is that if I showed this to, I showed it to, how many people I showed it to? Everybody but you.
Well,
You never did
the
about
reason
that.
she's saying that is
Sir?
because it makes it clearer for what she has to do, because she's gonna be responsible for the work done.
I
So
understand that. I
If they
understand.
have someone go in the field say something and someone in the field says something else, we can go back to this notarized copy and say, well, I took those trees down.
Man, I know, I'm 75 years old. I've
Yeah.
been through more legal documents than I could even
So you in
think
better
about.
better shape than you
What I'm
realize.
just saying is that I'm just, like I said, I hope this is the last meeting I have to go to. And I know Miss Regina probably rides down there on the river every now and then. Give me a call. He's got my cell phone. I probably gave it to everybody. I don't know. But I'm easy to get in touch with when you come down there. David's the notary. Bring him with you. So anyway, and make it a little bit easier on what I'm trying to get done. It's not a lot. It's really not a lot. You know, I thought about renting my own to go ahead and take care of the job, you know, but I'm not gonna do that, so. All right, gentlemen, appreciate your time, and, I guess that's it.
Thank you, Mr. Haywood.
Y'all have a nice day.
Yes,
You
sir.
too. Thank you. Number 6, the dumpster placement. I'd like to make a motion that we put out the dumpsters for the trash.
Yeah.
In the-
When's the last time we've had them out?
I'm not sure. When was the last time?
David, you know when we had the dumpsters picked up last?
Regina, when was the last time we had the dumpsters out?
I think y'all had some dumpsters, they're talking about the dumpsters.
When was the last time we had them out? You remember?
I would have to look.
Okay. I'm good with it, but let's see when the last time was so we can get it on rotation. So if you want to go ahead and say we'll put them out again, and
Yeah,
then we'll
we'll
get,
put 'em out.
that way we can get a schedule out and we can follow that schedule in the future.
Well,
I have a
allow us to
concern.
follow that schedule.
I think we have some contracts with the parish for dumpsters put out with some private contracts that this may violate. I want to look at that first, before we put that out. And I have.
What's going to violate it? The what? Putting out?
Yeah, putting out, because if the parish has,
What contract?
I would assume we're putting these out with the people we have a contract with then, right?
These,
Or if these dumpsters, right?
is that who, is that
Wait,
with, or is it
Unless they're
parish?
being
no.
donated.
no,
No.
excuse me. These dumpsters that we talking about doing
Mhm.
are the dumpsters that we normally put out every so often. Now, as far as when we normally put them out,
Well, what he's
I
saying
don't
is,
have
do
that
we
answer
have a
right now.
certain company that we use, or we use any company?
what company we normally use, Regina, since you've been here? David?
Republic.
All right.
Well,
Republic.
whoever we have a contract with, just use who we have a contract with.
All right, and that's who's going to pick them up?
Yeah, you have
Yeah.
an issue with that? I mean.
No, I don't have an
yeah.
issue with that.
Yeah, just as long as
As
they're
long as
put
the
out there.
dumpsters go down,
Make sure it's
regardless
done
of whether we
with
switch-
legal wise how we need to do it.
right, whether we switch to another company or not, I need the dumpsters down. Whether we switch to Republican or we stand with Republican,
Okay.
whoever it is putting them down,
I just want to make
we
sure we
need
were
to
using
make sure
the,
that
that we
we
that
get them
didn't
out
violate
and put
the
them down.
contract.
So I have a
And,
motion on putting the dumpsters down.
So
And
with the dumpsters, I think we may need to get with Ms. Dawn on that, as far as the funding for the dumpsters.
How normally, what we normally do with that?
To my understanding, they put them out once a year, and it's part of the, Keep Ascension Beautiful
Yeah.
project.
And last time we talked about it, putting it out, we had spoken about doing this quarterly or maybe even more. So what I'd like to do is, I mean,
well, it's whether it's in the scope, so I spoke to finance today, and
We need to put 'em-
they had a concern whether this scope was within the budget for West Ascension drainage. And
well, we'll
and
make
whether
this a
our contract-
resolution, so if it's not in the budget, then we'll come back at that point and see it. So maybe the next meeting, we can bring the budget and we can see what is allotted or what we could have allotted for this particular case and how much it costs and how much it will cost. So I'll make a motion for a resolution to bring that to the next meeting. You want to second that, to put a schedule in place for the dumpsters quarterly?
Okay.
You want to second that?
I'll second it.
Thank you.
Second that motion. Number 7, Louisiana Watershed Initiative update.
Just to go over just some items in reference to Louisiana Watershed Initiative. There's not too much more update than the last council meeting. We're just waiting on a CEA with OCD on the Bonadonna Catawba. It's getting real close for us to get funded for that project. That was in our last meeting, so we're getting close on that. On the Bayou Lafourche, it's also a CEA that OCD is involved with in reference to getting that done. We just sent in the specs a couple of days ago that we got from Bayou Lafourche Freshwater District, because that project is commingled with that. So those are the couple things that's holding those projects up. As we all know, the grant process takes some time to work its way through with all of the documents that OCD needs so we can get the funds to move those projects forward. McKimmon Creed is working on our flyover and some information on the retention ponds. We're still waiting on that information to be compiled by them. And the flyover and that information, I'm hoping that we'll have it ready for the next meeting here at the courthouse. The West Ascension Drainage Project was one of the projects that we missed in the first round funding. We are told that they may have what they call a 1.5 or maybe round two. We were lacking a little technical information on the BCA. We're still waiting on them to determine how these funds will be distributed to all of the parishes to further gather that information that we need for that project. So that's about a $6.5 million project, and I think we got a pretty good shot at getting that. So that's pretty much the update on the Louisiana Watershed Initiative.
Thank you, David. Number 8, Bayou Napoleon, the red project update.
Yeah, Jeff Henry, I got with Jeff Henry sometime last week. He notified me that they got about a mile left on Bayou Napoleon to reach LA 70. So if we keep getting some good weather, maybe by the time we get to the next meeting, they'll be at LA 70. So, but that's where they're at with Bayou Napoleon project.
Number 8 on the Hurricane Ida, debris removal from drainage canal, West Bank. Ms. Regina.
We've started cleaning out in-house, cleaning out the waterways, bayous and canals, removing trees, the down trees, debris from Hurricane Ida. We started last week on the Irish Canal. We removed the trees and debris. Today we completed Bayou Verret. And also we've got a machine from the east side that we're going to be able to use. We moved it to Bayou McCall, so starting next week we'll start cleaning out that's where the bigger of the trees and stuff at on Bayou McCall. So we'll start cleaning that out Monday. We moved our long reach highway on LA 943 by Mr. Warren Harangue property. They got some down trees there too also that we're in the process of cleaning up. And I got, if you want to look at it now, I did the presentation of what's been done so far. If y'all have time.
Allow me, we'll just look at it another time.
Okay,
All right.
that's fine.
The drainage report, Ms. Regina, Supervisor.
Okay. On vegetation, we're currently cutting grass on Highway 1 North, heading to the loop next. We have 2 tractors down, waiting on parts. We will start our first round of chemical spraying this month. On the drainage part, we have 1 cover request that will be installed on Monday. Oh, we've completed the extension of the cover on Highway 1 for Mr. Tommy Jofrine. And he was pleased with the work that was done. I have litter. We've gotten the culverts in to close in the yard for the recycle center. They will be installed once we finish working on cleaning the debris from the canals. We have the front gates installed at the entryway for the recycle center. the recycle report, Shake Snyder, we had debris, mattresses, bags of leaves, grass, telephone poles, bags of garbage. Highway 18, we picked up 26 tires, mattress, 20 bags of trash, bikes, pallets. Acosta Road, we picked up 13 tires, bags of clothes, bags of garbage. Rendezvous Lane, we picked up 4 tires. On the Loop, 945, we picked up a sofa, chair, 2 mattresses, and 6 tires. Lemonville Cutoff Road, we picked up a tire. So for the month of February, we picked up 50 tires.
Okay, was that the tires that we have, that was one of my questions I had, the tires from last month to this month, was it double or was it less?
Less.
Less, okay. Also the trash in our normal spots, as we pick it up, they put it back down. Was that about the same?
About the same. It was a little more last month, though. It was a
So
little
we
more.
continue to get the sofas, the chairs, and
Yeah, up and down. So.
we hadn't got any letters or anything out of the trash for us.
No.
Reporting on that.
No.
Okay. All right, Mr. Robey, you have anything?
I just had a question about all that trash that we're picking up.
Mhm.
I bet if we had some dumpsters out there, it would
No.
probably make some of
I
that.
could honestly tell you, and he's a witness, we've had 5 dumpsters out, and we still picking this up.
So nothing is less those months that the dumpsters are out. And and I'd also like to see where they're placed. Are they putting these hot spots, right? I mean, that's what
Yeah.
we talk about.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the hotspot.
Well, I mean,
That's
if they're
why I
not
asked about
effective, then we need to look into that too.
it. Well, as fast as we put it down, or the dumpster, as fast as we pick it up, they put it down. So,
Yeah.
and I just wanted to know whether it was any debris or any letters or anything.
We
Names
really
or
don't
whatever
rummage
may
through
get
it.
out of
Like
some of that
we
stuff.
take inventory of it and we pick it up with a machine.
Okay.
Some of the bags the guys might pick up, but we pick it up, put it in the back of the trucks and haul it to BFI dump.
Did we keep count of what was picked up last time we had the dumpsters out? Were we doing that at that point in time?
I think they just started this not long ago as far as documenting what's being
Correct.
picked up. Mhm.
Okay. So it wasn't done last time the dumpsters were out, or if it
No.
was, I'd like to see what that was then.
I can look.
Cool.
I can look and see. I can check it.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Number 11, date and time of the next West Ascension Drainage Board meeting. April 2nd? 7th?
I make a motion to adjourn.
I second that motion. Meeting is adjourned.